What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Opendoor, I want to go over some of the data points, latest and updates, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Opendoor is down 2.18%, largely just piggybacking off of the broader market. 627 the low, 649 the high, and very low volume. So 11.5 million shares being traded. Overall, today is rather comical because the market is freaking out because of this data. So we did have phenomenal GDP. So came in at 4.3, forecast of 3.2. So in general, the market's freaking out because they are assuming the Feds are going to be looking at this data and instantly come to the conclusion that we won't be getting a January cut. So in general, that's exactly what the market's been doing about all of this data. And I've kind of mentioned this in the past, that the market generally wants kind of a minor beat or a minor miss. That is it. Nothing extreme such as GDP. But logically, this kind of does paint a picture of the state of the economy. So in general, I personally think that this is a good opportunity to buy, even if this technically doesn't justify a January cut, because based on all the data that's been coming out, Opendoor's business is thriving, and Kaz has been kind of posting some stats as well. So I think in reality, yes, this might be not the greatest for a January cut, but it's not the end of the world. That's just my opinion, of course. But today there has been no official news from Opendoor, no SEC filings. Kaz again kind of gave some Easter egg on something that might be coming this week. So he said that we hopefully have one more big launch this week. Will be hard to get it out today, but we're going to be trying for Friday. And again, this is kind of the mentality of the broader market. So tomorrow the market closes at 1 o'clock, and then Thursday the market's closed because of Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all that celebrate. So Friday potentially could be a good day for Opendoor. So you might see some, even again with the market being closed early tomorrow, you might see some FOMO as people will be expecting some positive stuff. One thing that I would like to see from Opendoor though is that there's been a lot of big announcements. Even Opendoor has been posting stuff on social media, but they haven't been doing official news. And I feel like some companies like to abuse this too much. They like to do what I like to call PR blitzes, where they just put out news every single day, because that does get algorithmic trading to really push like the stock higher. Opendoor just doesn't seem to put out all that much in news. So it'd be good to see them put out like, hey, we did this launch, we're having this coming out. So because then again, that would actually help the stock price by algorithmic trading, kind of buying it up. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from all of that, shorts right now, they are now increasing about 23,000 shares. 14.54% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 113.74 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts are doing what they normally do, but even looking here, they're kind of quiet. This was the activity from yesterday, so they increased about 4.8 million at the peak, but today they seem to be relatively quiet. So that may be a good thing, possibly. I'll leave it up to you guys to kind of determine that. But from a option standpoint, 476,000 in calls, 95,000 in puts. So this does match with kind of the lower common stock. But 55% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you still see a consensus for it to be roughly around 650 to 7 by the end of this Friday. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 650. So kind of back and forth, definitely a lot more upside, but the kind of volume, large volume, is more oriented towards the down. Currently on the secondary market, we see about 4 transactions. Regrettably, all of them are sells. So big money is not really buying the Opendoor dip. Possibly these 4 institutions might just be swing traders or kind of whatever else. They might just be getting out because of the negative sentiment for today. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So definitely this one's a more popular exchange. You do see a lot of even numbers such as 20,000. That is a good sign that hedge funds are kind of trading it. And most likely we should be seeing more of this type of volume on the dark pool over the next week and a half, as we kind of near the end of Q4. So a lot of hedge funds and ETFs will be kind of rebalancing. So don't be surprised if we see some pretty big transactions over the next little bit. Aside from all of that though, with it right now at 628, it is smack dab in the middle between this pivot and this S1. 613 and then 643 is going to be the next strong support as well as target. It is fair to assume that the market just wants to go down. I think it was just looking for some explanation and some reason to push a little bit lower, and it's found it through GDP. Again, I personally feel that this is a optimum time to buy. Kaz has been a little bit more active on social media, hinting at various launches and kind of talking about things like that. So there's a lot of moving parts happening behind the scenes. So in my opinion, like I said already, this is a potential good reason to buy, but you guys again do whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to get you to buy or sell. All I do in these types of videos is just interpret the data. From here, you can kind of see that from the flow, algorithmic trading is the dominant force for the volume, and this has been kind of the common occurrence for the last several weeks. So AI has been just kind of trading it. Looking on the actual chart itself though, regrettably it is below that 10-day moving average. Today we didn't even attempt at that 100, so it looks like it does want to consolidate a little bit more. Possibly those institutions, the four that did sell, could be also selling because of just the technicals, because it's not looking too great. Of course, the next real moving average is going to be that 200-day moving average sitting at 384. So again, not saying that is going to be hit, but if things really do kind of the fear escalates, that might be the next kind of point. But realistically, like I said, I think the long-term investors, this is a good time to buy. I think the market is just throwing a crappy hissy fit today. So over the next couple of trading days, just watch for that 10-day moving average. So that's currently sitting at 652. And then you do have that 100-day moving average at 668. Aside from that, though, there really hasn't been that much in news. Possibly a good catalyst for Opendoor would be simply just Jim Cramer. I think he seems to be the big thing in the market. So if he comes out very bearish on Opendoor, that might be the green light just to buy the hell out of Opendoor. But aside from that, there really hasn't been that much. So hopefully that big launch that Kaz does have, I think it's more oriented towards the seller side. That's what he kind of alluded to, but hopefully that's a good catalyst to actually push it higher. If not, like I said, from a technical standpoint, it does show some signs of consolidation. So let me know your thoughts on Opendoor. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on Opendoor, and where do you realistically see things going in the short term? So let me know your kind of viewpoint on all of that. One final thing though, pop over to my Stacked account. I just put out a promotion. I'll have this out for the next week. So if you are looking to get some solid day trades, pop over there. I made it $1.50 a month. So I just made this brand new tier. And so as you can kind of see, day trades only. I have a couple other tiers as well if you are interested. So I have swing trades, all buy alerts. So that gives you crypto, options, everything. But I did lower this down from 20 down to $1.50. So once you get in, you will never increase. So $1.50 a month. And that's for some solid on point day trade. So definitely pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, hopefully you guys all have a good rest of the day. And in case I don't do another Opendoor video prior to Christmas, Merry Christmas and all the other fun jazz. So with all that, appreciate all of you watching.